Welcome to your personalized deep dive into the latest from the world of tech.
Glad to be here.
This week, well, our sources have pulled together a real mix. Cloud stuff, AI advancements, security updates. The works, really.
Yeah, it's a packed landscape right now.
Think of this as your cheat sheet, yeah. We're aiming to pull out the crucial bits, the why you should care moments, without getting you totally bogged down.
And maybe spark some ideas for where to look next.
Exactly. So let's dive straight in, kicking things off with Azure. Looks like there was a video update around April 4th, something called the Model Context Protocol Overview.
Ah, right. MCP.
Yeah, MCP. For someone tracking AI, what's the big deal? What is this protocol? Sort of high level.
Okay, so Model Context Protocol, MCP. Think of it like prepping an AI model before it starts working, giving it the specific context it needs.
Prepping it how?
Well, instead of just general knowledge, MCP gives it detailed info about, say, the data it's about to see, or what the user really wants, the system it's in, all that nuanced stuff, and pre-calculating this context. Well, the idea is it leads to much more relevant, much more accurate AI results.
So better performance, basically. More reliable AI.
Pretty much. If you're deploying AI, that's a big win. It's about making the output smarter from the get-go.
Got it. Like giving an actor the whole script, not just their lines. Okay, staying with Azure, there's another video. Global Secure Access Proof of Concept. Secure Access is always huge, but what does a proof of concept tell us here?
Well, with everyone working everywhere and apps in the cloud, secure access from anywhere is like baseline now, right?
Absolutely.
So a proof of concept here means they're actively experimenting, testing out a new approach, probably using zero trust ideas, but on a global scale.
Zero trust, meaning verify everything, always.
Exactly. They're testing if they can securely let users and devices connect to resources no matter where they are, rigorously checking if it works, if it's resilient.
Interesting. So for someone in network security, this might signal a shift.
Could be. A move away from just building walls, more towards checking identity and context for access. Less about where you are, more about who you are and what you're trying to do.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, one more Azure item. Azure SQL Hyperscale. Elevating performance with continuous priming. Continuous priming. Sounds fast. What's the core idea for database folks?
Yeah, Azure SQL Hyperscale is already built for those giant, fast-growing databases where speed is everything. Continuous priming is basically a technique to cut down query lag. The database engine is sort of constantly getting ready for queries it might receive.
How does it do that?
By proactively caching data, optimizing execution plans, kind of doing the prep work in the background all the time.
So the benefit is?
Consistently fast response times for your apps, even when the database is getting hammered. It's about keeping it ready for peak performance. Always.
Okay, that sounds pretty crucial for demanding apps. Let's pivot over to Microsoft 365, seeing mention of SharePoint agents in a video. What are these agents supposed to do?
Right, SharePoint agents. Think intelligent automation, but right inside SharePoint.
Like what kind of automation?
Well, maybe organizing content automatically, pulling specific data out of documents intelligently, or even offering some kind of proactive help to users right there in SharePoint.
So for someone managing SharePoint or team collaboration?
It could be a real time saver. Boost efficiency, handle routine stuff, freeing up people for, more strategic work, less admin overhead.
Sort of like little helpers in your digital workspace. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, also 2 videos on Microsoft 365 security and productivity with Intune. One on email net protection, the other on endpoint enrollment. Intune's a big piece of the M365 puzzle.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with devices all over the place.
So what's the main value here for securing that M365 world?
Well, Intune gives you a single place to manage and secure data across all those devices. Email and app protection is about making sure corporate data, access via email or apps, stays safe, policies for encryption, access controls, trying to stop data leakage.
And the endpoint enrollment part.
That's about making it easy to get devices, company ones, personal ones, under management control, so you can push out security policies, check for compliance right from the start.
So Intune is basically the central control panel for security in that modern mixed device workplace.
That's a good way to put it. Foundational, really, for anyone dealing with data governance and security today.
Right. Okay, moving into Power Platform and Dynamics 365. There's a FabCon rundown mentioning Power BI tips. We don't have the specific tips, but the ongoing focus. What does that suggest about Power BI's place?
Yeah, the fact that Power BI keeps getting this attention just shows how vital data viz and analytics are for businesses.
Still a core tool.
Definitely. Even without the exact tips, it tells you Microsoft is still pushing hard on things like self-service BI, making data stories easier to tell, maybe tighter integration with other services.
So for users, it means stay updated because it's still a key way to get insights from data.
Exactly. Knowing the latest features can give you an edge in making those data-driven decisions.
Makes sense. Now, this one sounds interesting. Enterprise agents with knowledge from Snowflake. Integrating Snowflake data. How could that change things for these enterprise agents?
Okay, yeah, this is interesting. Imagine your automated business assistants, the enterprise agents, could directly tap into all the data stored and processed in Snowflake.
Wow, okay. So smarter agents.
Potentially, yeah. Whole new level of automation. Agents using Snowflake's analyzed data could give much more informed answers, handle complex tasks that need big data sets, basically provide way more intelligent help across the company.
So bridging the gap between the big data warehouse and the automation tools.
Precisely. Connecting powerful data with intelligent action.
Cool. We also see updates on Power BI embedded analytics accelerators and a discussion on Power BI storage modes, import versus direct query versus direct lake. Getting a bit more technical here, what are the implications?
These point to Microsoft refining Power BI's performance and flexibility, especially for developers and admins. The embedded analytics accelerators likely make it quicker and easier to put Power BI visuals into other apps. Get analytics right into people's workflows.
And the storage modes, import,
Yeah.
direct query, direct lake.
Right. That's all about how Power BI handles the data. Import pulls it into memory fast, but data isn't live. Direct query queries the source live fresh data but can be slower. Direct lake is newer, aiming for high performance directly against data lake formats.
So it's about giving users choices to balance speed, data freshness, cost, depending on what they need.
Exactly. Choosing the right mode is pretty crucial for getting the performance and data currency you need.
Flexibility and performance tuning. Good stuff. Okay, let's shift gears. DevOps, SRE, infrastructure, from Helm chart to developer UI in 5 minutes. That headline definitely catches the eye. Sounds fast.
Yeah, it really does. It points towards some serious advances in developer tools and automation. Helm charts package up Kubernetes apps, right? So going from that package to a working UI for a developer in just 5 minutes, that suggests a lot of the underlying complexity is being automated away.
And the benefit for DevOps or platform teams?
Speed, much faster deployment, quicker iterations on applications. That kind of efficiency boost is huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, then we have Hyperlight WASM Azure goes the final WASI mile. And another one, WASM Envoy and Hyperlight. No vulnerabilities allowed. Lots of talk about WASM WebAssembly. Why is Azure focusing on this?
WASM is pretty exciting tech. It lets you run code, not just JavaScript in browsers and other places really fast, almost like native code. Plus, it has strong security sandboxing built in.
Sandboxing, meaning it runs in a contained, safe space.
Exactly. So when Azure talks about the final WASI mile, WASI is about running WASM outside the browser on servers at the edge. They're likely pushing for better standards and support there.
And the no vulnerabilities allowed part.
That highlights WASM's security angle. That sandbox makes it inherently safer, which is really attractive for building secure, portable apps. If you're into cloud-native stuff or security, WASM is definitely one to watch.
Secure and portable. Checks a lot of boxes. Next, the Jet KVM. Take control of any PC. Sounds powerful for remote stuff.
It is. KVM stands for keyboard, video, mouse. Jet KVM seems to be about giving you that low-level remote control over a machine like you're sitting right there.
Use cases.
Remote IT support is a big one. Managing servers without a monitor or keyboard attached.
Yeah.
Maybe even accessing your own work machine from somewhere else.
Could definitely simplify things. Okay, here's a perspective piece. The future of platform engineering is about more than AI. Interesting angle. With all the AI hype, what else is crucial?
Right. AI is a tool, but platform engineering is broader. It's also heavily about, developer experience, making it easy for devs to get the infrastructure they need, self-service style.
Right.
And building really solid automation frameworks, not just AI plus good infrastructure as code practices. It's about the whole platform that lets developers build and ship software quickly and safely. AI is part of it, but not the only part.
Got it. A holistic view of developer enablement. Then there's switching to Podman from Docker, an alternative container tool gaining ground.
Yeah, Podman. It's good to have choices, right? Fosters competition and innovation.
What's Podman's angle versus Docker?
A key difference is its architecture. It can run containers without needing root privileges, which is a plus for security. That rootless model makes it appealing for places with really strict security needs, shows the container world is maturing.
Better security options are always welcome. And then GitHub Copilot for DevOps engineers boosting productivity. So Copilot isn't just for writing application code anymore.
Nope. They're extending it. Just like it helps devs write code, the idea here is to help DevOps engineers with their tasks, automating stuff, helping write infrastructure code, suggesting fixes for operational issues.
So AI creeping into the ops side of things too.
Pretty much. Potential for big efficiency gains and maybe fewer manual mistakes in managing infrastructure.
Makes sense. And lastly for this section, CNCF releases 2025 State of DApp Report. DAFR. That's the Distributed Application Runtime.
Correct. Dapper provides building blocks to make it easier to create microservices and distributed apps. Things like state management, pub-sub messaging, common patterns.
So this report would show
Likely trends in how people are using Dapper, what for, best practices that are emerging. Really valuable stuff if you're building modern, scalable apps. Gives you a sense of the community and where it's heading.
good resource for architects then.
Oh,
Okay, let's move into data analytics and AI territory. Big news. Copilot Code Review, GitHub, now generally available. That feels like a significant step.
it really is. Having AI automatically review your code as part of the standard workflow, that's becoming mainstream now.
And the benefit is catching problems early.
Yeah, finding potential bugs, security flaws, even just style issues much earlier in the cycle. That should lead to better quality code, more secure code hitting production.
Huge potential value there. We also see understanding Model Context Protocol, MCP, again. Circling back to that Azure topic, why is understanding MCP so important in the broader AI picture?
The fact it pops up again just underlines its importance. As AI gets woven into more things, making sure it has the right context is absolutely critical for it to work well and reliably.
So it's foundational for effective AI.
You could say that. Understanding MCP helps you build and use AI solutions that actually get their environment and can give you useful, accurate results. It's becoming table stakes.
Okay, critical concept then. Next, Microsoft Copilot adds features from other AIs. Sound like they're mixing and matching.
Yeah, kind of an aggregation strategy. It seems like they're pulling in strong capabilities from various AI models to make the main Copilot offering more powerful and versatile.
A best-of-breed approach.
Looks like it. Trying to make Copilot a more comprehensive assistant by leveraging strengths from different places. Interesting trend in the AI space collaboration and integration.
Like building an AI super team. Okay, we also have FabCon 2025 Microsoft Fabric Community Conference highlights. Fabric being Microsoft's big unified data platform. What were the likely themes there?
Given Fabric's whole purpose, I bet big themes were deeper integration between its parts, maybe better governance tools, streamlining those end-to-end analytics workflows.
Making it more seamless.
Probably. Announcements likely focused on new data connectors, performance boosts, tighter links between the data engineering, science, and BI parts, all aimed at making life easier for data pros using the platform.
Pushing that unified vision further. Got it.
Huh?
And lastly here, a cool real-world example. Anchoring enterprise Gen AI with knowledge graphs, Pfizer and Neo4j.
Yeah.
Using knowledge graphs with generative AI. How does that work?
This is a great example. Knowledge graphs provide structure. They map out entities and relationships in a way computers can understand really well.
So structured knowledge.
Exactly. And when you feed that structured knowledge to a generative AI, it helps ground the AI, makes it better at reasoning over complex information, understanding connections.
And for Pfizer.
In a field like pharma, which is super knowledge-intensive and regulated, using knowledge graphs can make the Gen AI output much more accurate and reliable. Could potentially speed up things like drug discovery by helping the AI make better connections.
Fascinating. Using structure to improve the AI's reasoning. Okay, let's switch to security, compliance, and privacy. First, a CMMC overview and guidance. CMMC. That's for defense contractors, right?
Yes, Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. It's the framework the U.S. Department of Defense uses to make sure its contractors have solid cybersecurity practices to protect sensitive info.
So basically required to do business with the DoD.
Increasingly, yes. If you're in that ecosystem, you absolutely need to understand CMMC requirements. Compliance is key.
Critical for that sector then. There was also a Microsoft Copilot for Security AMA. Ask me anything. Seems like a lot of interest in AI for security ops.
Huge interest. An AMA session signals that security pros really want to know how AI tools like Copilot for Security can actually help them day to day.
Help with what specifically?
Threat detection, speeding up incident response, managing security posture. People are looking for practical ways AI can help them fight back against threats.
And speaking of threats, AI-driven attack platform. That sounds not good.
No, it's definitely concerning. It means attackers are using AI to make their attacks more sophisticated.
How so?
Automating attack steps, maybe creating more convincing phishing, finding ways around defenses more effectively, potentially launching more targeted attacks. It means defenders really need to up their game and understand how to counter AI-powered threats.
A serious escalation. Okay, on the defense side, we have Microsoft Purview Browser and Network Security Controls, and Unified CCOPS with Microsoft Sentinel. These are Microsoft's tools for.
Right. Purview is mostly about data governance, finding, classifying, protecting your data. The new browser and network controls likely add more layers to prevent data leaks or unauthorized access.
And
Sentinel is their SEM security information and event management and SO security orchestration, automation, and response tool, cloud native. It pulls in security alerts from everywhere to give you one view, helping detect threats faster and automate responses. Unified CCOPS.
Comprehensive security management tools. There was also a Microsoft Cloud Security Keynote Sans Cyber Solutions Fest. Keynotes usually set direction, right?
Yeah, a keynote like that at a SANS event would likely cover Microsoft's high-level security strategy, maybe announce new features or services, and share their perspective on the latest threats and how to combat them in the cloud. Good overview material.
Useful pulse check for cloud security, folks. And lastly here, a service provider guide on helping clients achieve NIST compliance. NIST being another big security framework.
Right, National Institute of Standards and Technology. This guide is interesting because it's aimed at service providers.
Why is that notable?
It shows a focus on enabling the enablers, recognizing that MSPs and consultants play a huge role in helping smaller organizations get compliant with complex frameworks like NIST. It's about scaling that security knowledge.
Makes sense. Empowering the ecosystem. Okay, let's look at learning and certifications briefly. Resources like Azure Virtual Desktop Beginner's Guide and AI for Professionals boost productivity with Copilot, catering to different needs.
Exactly. Covering fundamentals for newcomers to AVD and practical AI application for seasoned pros looking to use tools like Copilot better.
Also, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Best Practices and Insights, keeping skills sharp on security tools.
Crucial. Defender for Cloud is a complex platform. Knowing the best practices is key to getting the most protection out of it.
And finally, how to use Copilot Studio to build agents for M365 Copilot. This seems really relevant with Copilot spreading everywhere.
Absolutely. Copilot Studio lets you customize and extend M365 Copilot. Build your own agents for specific company tasks or workflows. Learning that could unlock a lot of tailored automation.
Customizing the AI for your own needs. Powerful stuff. Okay, last section. Broader industry news and trends. Preparing fintech for post-quantum cryptography. Thinking way ahead.
Definitely forward-looking. Quantum computers could eventually break today's encryption, so the financial sector, fintech, starting to plan for post-quantum crypto now shows they're serious about long-term security, future-proofing.
Smart move. Google's Notebook LM can now discover its own sources. AI research tools getting smarter.
Seems so. Notebook LM being able to find its own relevant sources automatically. That could make research and pulling together information much faster and more comprehensive, less manual hunting for the user.
Neat. OpenAI makes first cybersecurity investment. AI giant getting into security.
Yeah, it really highlights that growing link between AI development and cybersecurity, a recognition that AI is going to be central to both attacking and defending networks.
The end of the times. U.S. Energy Department to host AI research. Government seeing AI's potential.
Clearly. Using AI for complex national challenges, energy efficiency, scientific breakthroughs, grid security, shows how important AI is becoming across critical sectors.
Makes sense. Copilot upgrades. Coming from Microsoft's 50th anniversary. Sounds like big things planned.
You'd expect so. Tying major Copilot enhancements to a milestone like their 50th suggests they're planning some significant new features or capabilities. Something to keep an eye out for.
Definitely. Practical news. GitHub Copilot introduces new premium model limits, just managing expectations and usage.
Yeah, practical stuff. Changes to pricing or usage tiers for the paid Copilot version. Users just need to be aware so they can plan accordingly.
Good to know. And finally, updates on quantum computing momentum. Rigetti and IonQ and DARPA Scan highlights industrial quantum initiatives. Quantum keeps bubbling.
It does. Continued progress on the hardware side from companies like Rigetti and IonQ and DARPA looking at industrial uses. It shows the field is still moving forward, attracting research and investment, even if widespread use is still a way off.
the slow march continues. So quite a sweep across the tech world this week.
Absolutely. You know, the thread that really ties almost all of this together is AI, isn't it?
It really is. From infrastructure optimization with MCP to developer productivity with Copilot, security analysis, even those enterprise agents. It's everywhere.
And evolving so fast, it's almost hard to keep up.
Yeah.
But fascinating to watch how it's reshaping everything.
Truly is. Well, that wraps up this personalized deep dive. We hope it gave you some clarity on the latest movements and maybe sparked some new thinking.
Yeah, lots to dig into further from here.
Definitely. Remember, this is just scratching the surface. Until next week, keep exploring.